Morning. Today I am going to give a lecture for the new first year students about the introduction to anatomy. Actually, anatomy is an important part of medicine. Without anatomy, physiology and biochemistry, medicine cannot be complete. Similarly, without osteology, that is about the study of bones, anatomy cannot be complete. So, anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, for all the three subjects are started in the first year itself because these are the infrastructure for the future medicine, surgery, gynecology, everything. Today, I am going to give a small introduction to anatomy because the first year students may not straight away understand the anatomy subject. So, before giving the introduction, I want to tell you how far I am fit to take anatomy because I have been practicing ophthalmology for the past 50 years at Tirunelveli. Actually, after finishing my house surgeoncy, I joined for tutor in anatomy Tanjavur Medical College by 1st February 1968. By 31st March 1969, I finished my anatomy service and joined DO by 1st April 1969. From 69 to 670 March, I was in Madurai for DO. During that time, I was tutor cum student. From 1st May 1970, I have come down to Tirunelveli. From then onwards, I have been practicing eye and eye only. But I am much interested in teaching. Apart from that, I like anatomy very well because anatomy is the only subject where we can see what we want to study. And every specimen we can see with our own eyes, except histology. That is a different part we have to study only with microscope. Actually, how I come to anatomy today? In the subject of anatomy, I was much interested because before entering the anatomy theatre, usually some of the students will be doing upper limb dissection. Upper limb means this portion. Some of the students may do the lower limb, that is like below the hip. Some of the students may be doing head and neck. Some of the students may be doing abdomen. Some of the students may be doing thorax. For that, every batch of students, there will be a separate tutor. That tutor alone will be handling the subject in theory class as well as in dissection hall. They will go on rounds during dissection to discuss with the students either by asking questions and getting answer from them. Sometimes the students may ask questions to the tutor and they have to give answer. In that case, the tutor concerned must be very thorough about that particular region. But myself actually had an idea that I must go for all the regions in the first day itself to impress the students. So, actually, by first day I joined by 11 o'clock. So, dissection was over. So, I confirmed the next day subject that which part will be students doing in every region. So, I studied well about all regions and went to the theatre as a senior tutor. Since Dr. S.R. Sachidanandam, who was the senior assistant reader at anatomy department of Tanjavur, was my teacher at Madurai. He had good affection for me also. He was also guiding me. Generally, in dissection theatre will be started by 8:30 and around 8:45 to 9 o'clock the tutors will start going to the bodies, that is to the group of students. Myself and Dr. Sachidanandam alone, a different type of rounding. Actually, if he starts on the right side first day, I go to the left side. Then we go right towards the end, then next down, then back to the left. But otherwise, myself will go towards the left, go straight, then turn to the right, then straight, then end by right. By that time, what we will do is, we go to all regions. At the same time, in the same body, we used to see upper limb students, we give questions for them, get answer. We will answer for the questions. We shall demonstrate the dissected parts. Similarly, lower limb. Similarly, head and neck. Similarly, thorax. Similarly, abdomen and pelvis. So, all these reasons we take. So, students may be under the impression that I am actually a difference from transferred from some other station. That the impression I created at the very first day itself. So students' cooperation was very nice. Very fortunately for me, by 13th of February, something has happened in favor of me. That is, my colleague, senior tutor, Dr. Tyarajan, came in a hurry in the afternoon, come to the department. We all the tutors have been discussing. That was our rest time. And he said his daughter had febrile fits following vaccination. So he wants to leave for his place. He will be returning only by next night. But the senior professor said, okay, you can go. He requested, sir, I do not want to miss tomorrow's class. I want somebody to take abdomen tomorrow. Who will take it? Then assistant reader said, of course I cannot do, because that time I shall be taking head and neck. So other tutors you ask them. He asked everybody said no. Then immediately I said, sir, if my seniors do not object or mistake me, I shall not mind to take abdomen. Then the Dr. Tyarajan said, you are going to take a peritoneal reflection from tomorrow. Actually, immediately Dr. SRS called me to the other side of the room, and so that other people may not see us. He told me and advised me, Dr. Pothilingam, I am really happy that you want to take a class. But peritoneal reflection, as you know very well, is a tough subject. Generally, it's a tough, not only for the students, but also the teacher to make the students understand. Such a subject you want to handle on the very first day of your teaching service. We have to be very careful. If you are not able to manage the students, or if you make any break in the middle, the students may have worse impression on you. Then future will be, you cannot continue teaching very well. So that I said, no sir, you please bless me. I fell on his knees and asked him, bless me sir, I shall take it. Please give me only the important books which I can follow. I shall do it tomorrow. Then I was a bachelor. Here, 1st February 68 I joined. 18th March 68 one day I got married. So that time I was staying in a lodge with some other tutor. That night actually I have not slept till my night round about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Morning also I got up by 4 o'clock. The peritoneal reflection means the peritoneum is the inner covering of all the parts of the organs. That was, it is covering inner wall as well as all the organs as covering. That reflecting from one part or one organ to another organ, and from organs to abdomen, and from abdomens to organ, has to be explained in the great actually carefulness. Plus we have to draw some diagrams. So next day morning I got ready. 8:30 to 10 o'clock dissection. 10 o'clock will be theory. That is my time. I asked Mr. Lawrence, who was assistant in the anatomy department, I asked him to get a skeleton for my lecture hall. All the tutors were actually almost smiling and laughing. What happened to you, doctor? We do not have skeleton here. And then I said, what do you say? We have got anatomy department, we must have skeleton definitely. At least you get from museum. Then Lawrence said, yes sir, I shall bring the skeleton from the museum. He took the skeleton from the museum and kept it in the lecture hall. The second one I asked was, get me color chalk pieces. That also everybody surprised, because most of the people they used to take only white chalk piece. Then he searched for and got color chalk piece for me. Everything ready, I entered the department. Dr. Sachanandam asked me separately, why doctor, you are very particular about skeleton? I said, sir, if I got any doubt, if I do not want to face the students for any reason, I can look at the skeleton. He laughed at me. No, that thing will not happen for you. You can jollily go there. Similarly, I went to the lecture class. Students were absolute silence. I have started talking about the subject. The subject was very tough, I have already said. So it has to be explained by 4 to 5 diagrams, which are very great and difficult diagrams. Actually, we have to take section here, this portion. If we cut here, what are the parts we can see with the peritoneum? If we cut here, what are the parts to be covered by peritoneum? Similarly, 4 cuttings. See, we have to show all the organs plus coverings. So the organs must look typical organs, and the